Welcome back to Cypress Sports Weekly. I'm here with Mark Slevcove. My name is Jeff Russell, giving you all the information and insight into athletics life here at Cypress. Today we'll talk to the most enthusiastic team on campus, the three-time CIF champ cheer team with Coach Eric Galvan, cheerleaders Leena Ishqair and Ilana Robinson. But first, we got a busy update from Slevcove. We got a lot of stuff going on, right, Coach?
Yeah, what an exciting weekend it was. Friday night, our boys basketball team gets a win in the first round of the playoffs. And then Saturday was one of those days that was really cool for a high school. We're getting news throughout the entire day, morning, afternoon, and night about the excitement happening in the playoffs. Our girls water polo team made it to the semifinal for the first time, get a chance to move on to the finals this week. We're getting updates from wrestling. We got a CIF champion, Vita Beckel, in the girls' side, along with guys moving on to the Masters. Baseball and softball get a win on their opening day. Girls soccer gets a win. Girls basketball gets a win Saturday night. It was a pretty cool day.
Yeah, it was super crammed with excitement and a lot of great things going on with us. We have another one of those days today with just a ton of sports going on. Today's Wednesday. You'll probably see this show on Thursday, but we got a ton of sports going on today as well. But having that excitement on campus, having that where we're getting all those text messages, it's just such a great time, and just so happy for the players and the coaches. All their hard work is showing off a little bit with all their success.
That's right. Proud to be a Centurion, and they get to show that in the playoffs, and we've represented well. Boys basketball last night on Tuesday, after their tremendous 48-47 victory against Mayfair on Friday night, played a really tough Village Christian team, and kept it close for as long as possible. It was a 2-point game in the third quarter, and then we tried to hang with them, and they had a big run in the fourth quarter there. We ended up losing 86-65, but a nice season for Coach Mitchell, keeping the guys together, second place in league, second round in CIF. Girls basketball, after the victory on Saturday night against Segerstrom, play Calabasas at home on Wednesday night. So by the time this comes out, we'll know the result of whether or not our girls get to continue to play in the quarterfinals on Saturday at home if we win on Wednesday night. Boys soccer last week, it was a nice season, made it to the CIF wildcard round. After being tied 2-2 in regulation and throughout overtime, we ended up losing in the penalty kicks, but nice progress for Coach Mora and the boys soccer team. Girls soccer, we played Valencia in the first round of the Division II playoffs on Saturday at home. Paige Rodriguez got us on the board in the second half with the corner kick. And now Wednesday, the girls hit the road to Los Osos in the second round. Again, by the time this show comes out, we'll know whether or not the girls play on Saturday in the quarterfinal. Girls water polo, congratulations to them. First time in school history. And school history started in 1998 with girls water polo when CIF adopted it. Made the playoffs, made the quarterfinals a few times, but never the semifinals. And our girls had to travel up to Camarillo on Saturday, number 2 seeded Camarillo, and we beat them 7-6 in the quarterfinals. So the girls get to play at the Woolett Aquatic Center in Irvine in the semifinals, the site of the finals on Saturday, get to play on Wednesday. So again, we'll know by the time this show comes out whether our girls can move on to the finals on Saturday in Irvine after today's game against Oxnard. Wrestling, great showing. Coach Lumber is very proud of his boys and girls. They're showing at CIF. I think it was 6 placers on the boys' side, a couple second place finalists. 3 boys move on to Masters this week. And then on the girls' side, Vita Beckel, congratulations, CIF individual champion, and she was named the most outstanding wrestler in the upper weight class. So that's a huge accomplishment. Several champions at this event, and she was chosen as the most outstanding wrestler. So she had a dominating performance, and now her and Emery Bolasan move on to Masters on the girls' side. So exciting times. Awesome week, awesome weekend. We hope we can continue it throughout this week and into Saturday as we continue on in CIF and winter sports. Spring sports, baseball and softball got going. They played a couple games now, victories all the way around. Boys tennis got started with the victory over Oxford as well this week.
Yeah, a lot of games again this week. Baseball's got quite a few games. Softball will be playing again on Saturday this week. And then, shout out to those guys who played their hearts out last night and earlier in the week. Soccer, I mean, we don't get enough chances to practice those type of endings to a game where you have the penalty kick to end the game, the shootout to end the game. So tough for our guys to try to go through a situation like that we don't get a lot of. And then basketball just came up against a pretty good, solid team and battled their hearts out. So hopefully we'll continue the success with the rest of the winter and see everybody else rolling into in the spring as well. All right, well, there's a lot of great stuff going on. Today we welcome our CIF champion cheer team coach, Eric Galvan, cheerleaders Leena Ishqair, and Ilana Robinson. Welcome to the program.
Hi, thanks for having us today.
Coach, you're a 3-time CIF champ now. Are you getting used to this?
Yes and no.
Yeah, I bet. Well, cheer's pretty, new sport, relatively speaking, especially for CIF. So tell us about kind of the competition season. How do we get to the CIF championship?
So for the CIF championship, what happens is every school has to determine which level they want to enter their team. Teams go and are selected based off of how they decide to have their comp tryouts. Then from there, we go and prep with a certain type of rules and in mind, and then we just build our routine based off of that.
Very cool. And how many teams in a division normally?
Typically, it depends. Ours is probably one of the more popular divisions. Anywhere between 5 to 12 is a typical division at CIF.
And then what about the scoring? We do our routine, which I believe is around 3 minutes, and then you can correct me on that. And then how's the scoring work? Is there like the Russian judge and the American judge, or how's that work?
So how it usually works is a routine is 2.5 minutes. You're allowed to have up to 1.5 minutes in music and 1 minute in a cheer section. So what they're looking for is they are looking for different types of aspects in the routine, such as tumbling. There's a building score for your stunts. There is a game day aspect. So in that cheer, they want to see something that's very relative to like football. Can they lead the crowd? So if we're saying orange and blue, we got to make sure that we're getting the crowd's attention and making sure that they're saying it back with us and that it's super easy to follow. And typically what they do for judges is they bring people in from out of state. So there's a non-biased opinion toward cheerleading and judging.
Yeah, Coach, certainly there's a lot of skill and technique involved in cheer. I'm an untrained eye, so I can't pick it apart, but I know it certainly takes a lot of skill and talent and technique. What are some of the things that you stress the most in these areas?
We definitely stress perfect techniques, such as in their tumbling, feet are together, legs are straight. In their stunting, making sure that the flyer's foot is completely supported. So making sure that they're grabbing the heel and the toe the correct way, making sure that their timing is correct. Just a lot of little things that we look for are things that other schools typically don't, which tend to make us more successful in our competitive season.
Very cool. Well, a lot of people see cheer at games. Obviously, we see you out there, but they don't know a lot about the competition portion of it and the fact that it's a team sport.
Right.
How do you convey that team concept to our team and then to others who may not be familiar with it?
So what we do is we have our auditions for our spirit program, and typically our competitive program comes from our spirit program. So our athletes already build a communication and a trust going into different skill sets. So what you see on like a football field are things that are typically trying to kind of get a feel for what we can do. Kids are able to work well together, seeing if certain stunts or things are going to actually be possible for us to take into our competitive season. So because the kids have such a strong bond, that transition going from the spirit program to the competitive program is usually pretty seamless, since the kids are already familiar with each other. They've already most likely worked with each other in a stunt group. So it makes it pretty easy for my assistant coach and I to kind of just transition over from spirit to competitive.
I see a lot of connection. There's got to be camaraderie, and you guys put that all together, finding everyone's strengths. And now our team is one of 3 schools to win 3 CIF championships in the 3 years that CIF has hosted championships. And this year we did it as a co-ed team. That's pretty cool too. How hard is it to repeat? Does our focus change, or does it come down to our routines?
It is becoming harder to repeat, to maintain and stay at the top. Typically, like when we've cheered before, my coach always told us that better teams typically have a bullseye on their back. So the fact that we're very successful in going forward with the years to come, the bullseye is just getting a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger. The same strategy is used every single year just to prepare the team the best way that we can, and making sure that they're going in super confident and that we just get as many reps under our belt as possible. So when they are competing at the CIF championship, it's no different than practicing at school, just in front of a couple different faces.
Well, very cool, Coach. We got a couple of your seniors here with us. Leena, you're a captain on the team. That's a pretty big role on any team. Make us familiar with, in regards to cheer, what type of leadership role do the team captains play in the success of the team in cheer?
Well, for starters, motivating the team. Can't have a successful team if people don't want to be there and if they don't want to work hard. So we have to make sure that we're keeping things fun and different, but still pushing one another. And another aspect would probably be keeping like a friendship with the team, but also like, hey, we still have to get things done, which can be a little difficult at times.
Leena, you guys have a lot going on during a routine. How important is your guys' previous experience to a cheerleader's success?
I've been coached by many different people and different coaching styles, and I've found out what's successful in the cheer world, and just being able to share my knowledge with teammates and coaches is probably the best.
Well, Leena, you're a 3-year team member, I believe, 2-time champ, tumbler, and a base. 2 important roles on the team, I would imagine, pretty important. How do you measure your success individually amongst the team in a performance? I mean, clearly you don't want to drop anybody, right? Would take that part out. How do you think you've done well? Like, how would you say, like, yeah, I did really well today?
Making sure I'm hitting my stunts and motivating the people around me. So mat talk, and there's no I in team. If one person's not on board, it's not going to work. So we all have to come in with the mindset that we're going to work hard today and we're going to attack each of our goals.
All right, thank you, Leena. Let's turn over to Ilana now. Ilana, you're a 2-time champion, a 4-year cheerleader. We see you guys out practicing hard daily throughout the year, gearing up for your competitions. I know your family's proud of you and your team over the years, and it takes a lot of work to be good at cheer and be the champ. Do you think you guys get enough respect being cheerleaders and what you do around campus?
Yes and no. We do get respect from the teams that we cheer at, like football and basketball. They're really supportive. And we've even had teams come in during our practices and come and watch us so we can get used to performing in front of a crowd, which is really helpful because you get like unnecessary nerves when you see new faces. So that is like I want to say like the best support is having those teams like take time away from their practice to come and watch us for like 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, we like to see when groups are helping each other out on campus. That's always a great thing. And as Leena said earlier, it takes a lot of enthusiasm and effort to be a cheerleader, especially in the competitions. And obviously enthusiasm is a big deal to you. Does that come naturally to you and the team, or is that something that kind of all cheerleaders can learn to be good at?
It definitely depends on the person. For me, it comes naturally, but I've been performing for like most of my life. But definitely like new people incoming on the team. It takes some getting used to, especially with the performing. Like you kind of have to go crazy. Like you have to like put aside your like expectations and go past them. So it definitely takes getting used to, especially for our incoming freshmen.
All right, Lana, let's go back to the CIF competition. We finished our routine on Saturday. How'd you guys feel?
It felt amazing to win on Saturday. It was a little nerve-wracking because we were in the co-ed division and we have never competed in that division before. But I felt pretty confident walking in because our coaches and made sure that we were prepared, and my teammates felt pretty prepared. But it was still nerve-wracking.
So we nailed it though when we finished our routine.
Yeah, it was
and
the
then
best.
It's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking waiting for the results.
Yeah, and before you hit the mat too, after warm-ups, it's pretty nerve-wracking. But I felt pretty confident.
That's awesome. Well, hey, this time in the program, we do a little rapid fire questions, just supposed to be a little bit of fun. Sometimes they deal with your sport. Sometimes they're just off the wall questions. So don't overthink them. Whatever comes to your mind, just blurt it out. You guys good with that?
Yes.
Let's go.
All right. All right, here's the first question. Gymnastics or dance?
Dance.
Only one
me
of you.
too.
Answer. Yeah, both of you.
Gymnastics.
There we go. There we go. Favorite cheer hairstyle?
High pony.
High pony as well.
No Dutch braid and a messy bun kind of a thing?
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard to get everyone on board.
Can be.
I'm kind of a pro at that with 2 daughters. I can roll a pretty good Dutch braid. If you didn't cheer, what would you do?
Probably sing.
I'd say soccer.
Cool. What's your favorite musical or play that you've been to or seen?
Ooh. I'm gonna say Footloose.
I'll say Wicked.
Oh, I'm a Hamilton guy. I like that one. All right. Glitter or no glitter?
My mom would say glitter, but I say no glitter.
I'd say it depends on the occasion, but most of the time glitter.
How much glitter is too much glitter? A lot, right?
Yeah.
You guys just dump it on, I'm sure. All right, next one. Best snack before practice or a competition? What's the best snack?
I like protein bars.
Cheez-Its.
Solid choice with the Cheez-Its. All right, a teammate who rocks the overall cheer style and attitude the best.
Teammate Tyler.
I was going to say Ilana. You have a lot of school spirit.
Very cool. Last question. Are you a better tumbler than Coach?
Most definitely not.
Maybe not. Coach's got some skills, I'm telling you. I was very surprised by it, but
I'd say we're equal.
We'll go with that. I like that. Well, thank you guys. Thanks, Coach, for being here today. We'll be back next week. We'll have more coach interviews, more athlete interviews. Don't forget to share this on social media. Support our coaches, support our athletes, support the teams. Thanks for watching again this week, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you for having us. Have a great day.